The rain had been falling since midnight, steady and cold, washing the city in shades of gray. In the gated silence of West Hill Estates, every light had gone out except one, the soft golden glow from a single mansion window. Inside, Nathaniel Cross, a 38-year-old billionaire, known for his ruthless precision and quiet detachment, stared blankly at his reflection in a glass of untouched whiskey. The world saw a man who owned half the skyline. They didn't see the man who ate dinner alone in silence. It was past 2 a.m. when he heard the faint sound, a shuffle, then a soft thud. At first, he thought it was one of the security staff, but the noise came from the back, near the garage. He grabbed his phone, checked the cameras, and frowned. The feed was fuzzy from the rain, but there behind one of his classic cars, someone was moving. Nathaniel walked down the hallway, his footsteps echoing in the marble emptiness. He opened the garage door and froze. A young woman sat curled against the concrete wall, drenched and trembling. Her arms were wrapped around herself protectively, and beside her, a small plastic bag barely holding anything dry. When she looked up, her eyes met his with pure fear. "I am sorry," she whispered, her voice barely audible, over the rain outside. "I didn't mean to break in. I just needed somewhere warm for the night. I'll leave right now." Nathaniel didn't answer at first. He noticed the swell of her belly beneath her soaked dress. She was pregnant, and shivering so hard she could barely speak. Something twisted in him, something that had been asleep for a long time. He took a slow breath. "You shouldn't be out in this weather," he said quietly. "You'll freeze before morning." Her lips quivered. "I had nowhere else to go." "Did someone hurt you?" Her silence was answer enough. Nathaniel looked toward the rain streaking across the glass, then back at her. Every instinct he had told him to call security, to have her escorted out. This was not his problem. But something about the way she clutched her stomach stopped him. "Come inside," he said finally. "You need to get warm." Her eyes widened in disbelief. You're not going to call the police?" He shook his head. "Not unless you give me a reason to." The woman hesitated, as if unsure whether to trust him. Then, slowly, she stood up, holding on to the wall for balance. He could see she was exhausted. Inside, the house was vast and cold, the kind of place that made silence feel heavier. Nathaniel grabbed a towel from the nearest closet and handed it to her. "Dry off, I'll get you something to eat." She blinked at him, almost in shock. "You don't have to," "I know," he interrupted softly, "but I'm doing it anyway." He left her near the fireplace and went to the kitchen. As he heated soup, his mind raced. Who was she? What had driven a pregnant woman into his garage in the middle of a storm? When he returned, she was sitting on the edge of the sofa, still holding the towel like it was something sacred. "Eat," he said, setting the tray down. She hesitated again, then nodded and began to eat slowly. When the warmth reached her cheeks, a small, tired smile appeared. "Thank you," she said quietly. "You didn't have to help me. Most people wouldn't." Nathaniel sat across from her, studying her carefully. "What's your name?" "Lila," she whispered. "Lila Hayes." "Lila," he repeated, the name soft on his tongue. "How far along are you?" 7 months. "Is the father—" She shook her head before he could finish. "He doesn't know, and I don't want him to." Nathaniel nodded slowly, sensing that the story behind her words was heavy. They sat in silence for a while, the crackle of the fire filling the room. When she finally met his eyes, her next words made his chest tighten. I used to work for your company, she said. His eyes narrowed slightly. My company? She nodded. Cross Enterprises, 3 years ago. I was an intern in the marketing department. He tried to recall her face, but couldn't. You left. I was laid off, she said softly. Budget cuts. It was my first job. I thought, maybe one day I could make it there. Nathaniel said nothing, his throat tightening. He'd approved hundreds of layoffs that year, names on paper, statistics in a meeting. But now, one of those names had a face. I never blamed anyone, she continued, staring at the fire. But when I lost that job, things got harder. Rent, bills, everything. I thought it couldn't get worse until... Her voice broke. She pressed her hand against her belly. Until him, Nathaniel finished quietly. She nodded. He left when I told him, said he wasn't ready. I lost my apartment last week. And tonight, I was walking past here when I saw your garage door was slightly open. I just wanted to get out of the rain for a few hours. Nathaniel exhaled slowly. The rain outside was still falling, softer now, but the weight of her story filled the air between them. She looked at him again, tears glistening. I'll leave in the morning, I promise. You won't even know I was here. Nathaniel shook his head. You're not going anywhere tonight, and we'll see about tomorrow. Her eyes widened. Why are you being so kind to me? He paused. Because once, someone wasn't kind to me when I needed it most. Lila woke up the next morning to the soft aroma of coffee and sunlight spilling through the tall windows. For a moment, she forgot where she was. Then she saw the silk curtains, the marble floor, and the quiet man. Standing by the table, reading a newspaper, Nathaniel glanced up. You're awake. There's breakfast on the counter. She sat up slowly, feeling a strange mix of gratitude and shame. You really didn't have to. Let me stay. I know, he said simply, but you needed it. For a moment, neither spoke. Then Lila's eyes fell on the photo frame, on the mantelpiece, a younger Nathaniel with a woman smiling beside him. Your wife? She asked softly. He nodded. She passed away 5 years ago. Car accident. I'm so sorry, he didn't reply. Instead, he folded the newspaper and looked directly at her. Lila, what you said last night about working for my company. Do you remember who interviewed you? Her face paled. Yes, you did. He blinked, startled. I did? She nodded. You probably don't remember me. I was nervous and I dropped my resume halfway through the interview. You picked it up and told me not to apologize for small mistakes. It was the kindest thing anyone had said to me that year. Something flickered in his eyes, regret, maybe recognition. You're the girl with the Navy folder, he murmured. You stayed late to help with the presentation that week. Lila smiled faintly. You remembered. For a long moment, silence filled the room again. Nathaniel sat down across from her, his voice quieter now. I never realized what those layoffs cost people. You were more than a name on paper. Her eyes shimmered. I don't want your pity, Mr. Cross. I just wanted a place to rest for one night. He leaned forward slightly. Then let me offer something else, Hope. She frowned. What do you mean? Nathaniel took a deep breath. Stay here for a while, at least until the baby comes. I'll make sure you're safe, healthy, cared for, no strings attached. Tears welled in her eyes, falling before she could stop them. Why would you do that for me? His voice softened. Because maybe this, he gestured between them, is my second chance to do something right. Lila covered her face, sobbing quietly. You don't even know what you're saving me from. Nathaniel looked at her, his chest tightening. "Then tell me." Her next words came out, trembling barely a whisper. "The baby's father is your brother." The world seemed to stop. Nathaniel's breath caught, his pulse stilled. The rain outside started again, gentle but endless, just like the silence that followed.